What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, and I am back. We are back for another day, another week, another player prop talk live stream here on the channel. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. Taco Tuesday today. What's new? Not a lot. Sunday, Monday, been a couple of days since we've streamed live here on the channel, so looking to get it going. Monday or Tuesday feels like a Monday to me in terms of live stream, but for you all, you're already 2 days into your week. Yesterday was a weird day in the NBA. Fun game to watch between the Knicks and the Pacers. Not so much a fun game to watch with the Nuggets and Wolves. That was a pretty terrible game. I didn't see that coming. Picks yesterday were not bad, but definitely went a little heavy on the turnover props yesterday, and probably going to steer clear from putting so many of those in my picks. Brunson not going over threes, that was weird. 43 points, and he only attempted 4 threes. Most of his damn points came from the free throw line. So if you took the over on his free throw attempts, like Damian did in the Discord, he crushed that, doubled it up. I think he had 14 free throws made yesterday. What's up, AOD? Wolves too deep. Jokic no help. Murray, yeah. That was crazy to watch Jokic get handled like that. Anytime he touched the ball in the paint, you had 2 guys around him, and it's not like they were, they're not bigger than him. You had like Kyle Anderson getting in the paint, Naz Reid blocking his shot, making it difficult, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, even without Gobert, it's not like they're running a bunch of 7'5" guys out there. So that's going to be interesting series. They got to win at least 1 game, 2 games. I did expect them to make a run in the second quarter or second half, but boy, that was just bad. That was really, really bad. Jamal Murray goes over his rebounds and assists. I paired that up with the Anthony Edwards promo on Better, so that worked out well. Let's get on with the stream. Start a few minutes early now so we can get some of the talk out the way, and then we spend more time going over player props. Let's spend a few minutes going over some turds yesterday. I saw Halliburton sold in the chat. Anybody who took the overs on Jokic or MPJ, maybe Murray, maybe you had some bad slips yesterday. Isaiah Hartenstein was my turd of the day. Took the under on his PRA at 22.5. That half court 3-pointer he made was all the difference. He finished the game with 23 PRA. Had he not made that shot, which is a super low percentage one-off type of shot, it's not like he's hitting threes every game, he would have finished with 20. So that was really tilting. It did cost me a double up, but that was really tilting, and I knew it when he hit that 3. I said that's going to be the difference in today's slip, and it sure as hell was. So Isaiah Hartenstein does a little of this, does a little of that, but he usually doesn't do enough within his minutes on the floor to go over PRA, unless he just has some crazy 12+ rebounding game. It's really not what you're going to get from him. But That 3-pointer really pissed me off. So that was my turd from yesterday. JR said, what's up, my guy? Let's make a winning slip today. Let's try, man. Halliburton sold. Nas Reed and Obi Toppin to the moon yesterday. Nas Reed, I've never seen Nas Reed play. I don't watch too many. I don't think I've ever watched a Timberwolves game. I hadn't watched a Wolves game this year. The way he shoots the ball, he shoots it like a line drive, and he was just knocking down those threes, and it was just like on point, just all net, no rim, no friendly bounce, just clean. That dude has a quick release, and he was knocking them down yesterday. So if you took the over on his points, that worked out well. Obi Toppin doesn't need a whole lot of time on the floor to do stuff. So he comes off the bench and provides that juice. What's going on, T? Big Icy, good morning. The mustache. I mustache you a question, ladies and gentlemen. What's your stash? Dion Cole had a good set. Not a set, I don't know, a joke where he was like, I don't trust any guy who doesn't have a mustache. And he ran into Tiki Barber in the airport, and Tiki Barber walked up to him and was like, I'm a big fan of yours and all. He's like, where the fuck is your stash? And he's basically just talking shit about men who can't grow mustaches and shit. This is just like stubble. I think in a few days it'll be like Super Mario. So if you're interested in that, stick around this week. All right, let's get on with the day. Stop talking about turds. And let's move on to some new plays. 2 more games in the NBA today. Both first game between these two 4 teams. So game 1, Cleveland, Boston. Game 1, Dallas and OKC. And always a ton of baseball. So tons of props to bring up on the board. We'll cover as many as we can. Hashtag blessed. If you're listening to this, hearing this, seeing this, you did not die in your sleep last night. So you woke up. Hashtag blessed. Pretty much that's it. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. I think hashtag blessed can be overused at times. I feel like, I don't think everything is hashtag blessed. Like if you're going to the RMV or DMV and you get there and the line is short, you're like, oh, hashtag blessed. It's like, not really. Not really. That's not blessed to me. It's just like, fucking line is short, Hashtag blessed has a little bit more emphasis on it, a little bit more meaning. So yeah, like waking up, not dying in your sleep. That's pretty good. Hashtag blessed. All right, let's move on to you know what? We're just gonna change the format up here. I don't want to spend too much time talking about other stuff. Let's just get into it. I'm gonna head on over to the PrizePicks dashboard, and we're just gonna pull it up right now. So if you're new to the stream, we try to talk all player props across pick'em sites. The reason I have PrizePicks pulled up is because it just looks better than all the other pick'em sites in terms of how their screen looks and navigation, and it's just a better presentation. Also, it's a pain in the ass to jump back and forth between PrizePicks and Underdog, and better. And some of these apps aren't even on desktop, so you got to use your phone. So PrizePicks offers the most upside. That's why we stick to the dashboard. But whatever player site you play, put that in the chat. If you have a question, just make sure you put, hey, this is on Underdog, or hey, this is on Better. Sometimes you find the same play on multiple pick'em sites, which is cool. But sometimes we can't find it on PrizePicks, but we can still look it up on props.cash. And that's what we'll be using today to break down all of our player props. So without further delay, let's get going. Nasty Nas. Boy, Nas Reed. Uh his defense on Jokic was legit. Man, the Nuggets they just look like the Wolves look like the Nuggets last year. Rangy defense, like it's hard to score against them. They're just like you could just see the difference. I don't know. It's like the hunger is there for the Wolves. They were playing like they were 8 seed or something, you know. Sometimes you win the chip or sometimes you get the bag and like the intensity dies down or the comfort level increases. Hopefully we see a better series. I don't want it to be a sweep. That's terrible NBA basketball. I don't want to see that shit. All right. Let's do this. Revenge yesterday. Oh, Obi revenge yesterday. Yeah. Had he missed that shit, that would have been funny, man. Oh man, that would have been like Nick Young. That would have been the Nick Young 3-pointer, the premature celebration. That would have been up there with that one for me. But it was appropriate, right? Like, just had they won the game, that would have been even better. But that should be a fun series. And unlike the Philadelphia series, like those games, yeah, they got good in the fourth quarter, but it's just like ugly basketball. This is like fast pace. A lot of minutes going to be played in this series. So hopefully we see more games like that. No blowouts. No more blowouts. What's going on, Ali? Hey, Seuss, what is up? Good morning. Oh, man. Yeah. It's just like a much more skilled, talented team, It's not always the brothers playing the white boys, though. I remember a long time ago in high school, we played a team out in the country, like Cy-Fair District, which is this all like suburb. We're just little inner city, regular high school. And I swear to God, like everybody on that team was like, I was a sophomore. Everybody on that team was like 6 feet tall. Like 250 pounds, like the lineman, the quarterback, I was like, it's the clones, like fucking clones of these white boys. Just they all look like linebackers and shit. Yeah, that was not a fun game. And big difference. big difference. So yeah. All right. I'm a little worried today with this Celtics Cleveland game because I'm seeing a lot of Celtic props and a lot of numbers being put up on the board for Celtics in terms of like their props, but I am not seeing any support for the Cavaliers. So it makes me feel like a lot of people are sleeping on the Cavs. I hope they don't win today, but they have to score. And they have to put up a fight, you would think. So I'm not seeing any love for the Cavs today. If y'all got any Cavs props, put them in the chat because sometimes we get so consumed. We have that tunnel vision and we're only looking at one side and you forget there's another team on the other side that has scores and people that want to win too. One of the props that I was seeing, and this one has been on the board for a while, and I get it, but also anytime a prop has been on the board for like 3 days and it hasn't moved, I'm like, oof. Initially, I was like, oh yeah, Horford under his PRA, that's sure to get bumped down, right? Or bumped up. It's just sitting there at 20 with no Porzingis. I mean, we all know that that's a good thing, but usually a good thing for the others like Brown and Tatum. Mobley and Allen, I'm not touching any of these props until, honestly, I'm so pissed off. 3 games straight, Jared Allen being ruled out. I mean, they just keep doing that shit. An hour before tip, 30 minutes before tip, Jared Allen ruled out. Like, he was never in question. He was always going to be ruled out. Just let people know he's going to be ruled out. Because what ends up happening is that you start taking the unders on some of these players, because with Jared Allen in, it's a different team. And when he's out, Mobley gets you fucking 16 rebounds. It's going to happen. So if Allen is out, I don't know what to do with Mobley, but those rebound numbers are a thing to look at. With no Porzingis in the middle too, there's no paint presence. So again, taking the under on a 10, this was at 9.5. Taking an under on that, I don't know, man. With only 2 games in the NBA today, so you may feel forced to take some props, but you don't have to play any of these. Peyton Pritchard got bumped up. His points were sitting at 6.5 for a good while. I don't know if you still want to play him at 7.5. Hauser also could be in play if you want to take a look at his points. Completely different series. Okay, so the Cavs and Magic, just good defensive teams. Boston and Miami, just an undermanned team in Miami. Now the competition is better in this series, so I don't know what to expect from Tatum and Brown, but some of these role players like White, I think their role doesn't change in these series. What's going on, Rick? RIC. Donovan Mitchell points at 26.5 is a good look, even at 27. Chet over 1.5 threes made. Yeah, no one's really talking about the Cavs. And when I say no one, I just mean I don't see a lot of support from books, which means the public isn't really on these plays, because they don't put plays on their books that people just don't care about. So I don't know. I think this is a better game than most people think. I also think that we see a much better series from SGA. I think we see a much better series from SGA. Not like he had a bad series in round 1, but I mean that series is not this. The Mavericks offer a bit more competition. Obviously, they have one of the best players in the NBA on their team. We can go back and look at game logs between these two teams. They've played each other quite a bit in the regular season, but I think this is an SGA series. So you got Chet over threes. You got Mitchell over points. Nah, that's at 27.5. If you can find it at 26.5, that's a really good line. What's going on, Manuel? Porzingis is out. Horford over rebounds. Watch the Cavs. I'm telling you, man. People. I just think a lot of people are sleeping on the Cavs. And we've seen the Celtics just kind of collapse in the playoffs. I mean, they don't string them together. I wish we could see just a more assertive, like, dominant Celtics team. It's basketball. Every team's gonna win a game at some point, but I just see them let their foot off the gas a lot, and they let teams in. They let teams in, or they keep teams around when they should just be choking them out. It's just frustrating. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs take one of these first 2 games, or just play it super close. no blowout. Rick says ESPN bet has Mitch at 26.5. Yeah, so damn, it was bound to get bumped up at minus 140. I saw a rebound for Horford. No Porzingis. Yeah, this is a much different series than the Miami series. With no Porzingis, I know a lot of people were on Horford's rebounds. They haven't changed. They were at 7.5 last game. The difference is there was no need for Horford to be on the court for an extended period of time in those games. And the front court looks a lot different in Cleveland than it does in Miami. So if Jared Allen plays, that is even more reason you see a bit more from Horford. No Porzingis. I don't know who the backup is. It like oh my god, not OJ Brissett. He's not a 5. He's not a 4. They have some guys back there behind Horford, but it doesn't get much better, right? So that's why I'm like, hey man, if Allen is out, I mean Mobley's gonna be at the 5. I don't think they keep him off the glass. Unless Horford puts an elbow on his face. That's about the only way I see Mobley just not having a good rebounding game. All right, let's take a look at these plays here. Horford under his PRA over rebounds. We can take a look at both of those to see if there's any leverage. Pritchard and Hauser. Pritchard's points have been bumped, but we can take a look at them now. Maybe you want to take the under on these at 7.5 because that's a big difference, a whole point difference. Mitchell over points, and then Chet over his threes made. So we'll head on over to props.cash. If you've never used props.cash before, if you've never seen props.cash before, we break down all the player props using props.cash. Maybe you use Outlier, maybe there's another resource tool that you use. Whatever you use, it's better than guessing. It's better than just going with what you think is going to happen. So I suggest that you have a resource that you can rely on that'll do most of the work for you and allow you to just dig into numbers versus having to go find all the shit yourself. I got StatMuse pulled up and this shit. You got 5 fucking tabs pulled up. Why work hard when you can just work efficiently? So it doesn't matter to me if you use props.cash or not, but I think you should invest in something to help you with your researching process. All right, let's talk about Al Horford. We'll look at his rebounds first because no Porzingis in 9.5. No, 9.5 rebounds for Al Horford. You're taking the under on that one. I don't give a shit who's out. But at 7.5, they are in play. Now, the Miami series is not this series, so let's just forget about Miami. Oh, this player did this against that team in the first round. Doesn't matter. It's old news. Projected for 6.6. So that's not what you want to see in terms of the odds here at 7.5. You are getting 2 books that are heavily in favor of the under on FanDuel, DraftKings. PointsBet is even. BetMGM is slightly favored to the under, but with more juice to the over. And Caesars right now is the only book that outright likes the over, albeit by just the littlest of margins there. It isn't over. So when we factor out Porzingis, let's take a look at Horford's numbers over his last 10. Now, this does include playoffs. So last 10 games without Porzingis in the lineup, Horford's gone over this line in 3 games. And in the other games, he's not even coming close. In those games without Porzingis, Horford is averaging 29 minutes. When we remove that filter, Horford's minutes are 23. So he's giving you about 5 extra minutes in those games. Last 10 games with and without Porzingis, Horford's averaging 5.8 rebounds. Specifically without Porzingis, he's averaging 5.7. So there's really not that big of a difference in his production with and without Porzingis. So we focus on the matchup today because we're not really finding an edge when Porzingis is out. Matchup today offers a bad matchup in terms of just pace of play and then just personnel. If Jared Allen is ruled out, that does change things in my opinion, because it's one less big to contest. It's one less body for Al Horford to have to like get beat up by. But we don't know because they're not releasing any information. So if you're going by the odds, you're not really liking what you see. If you're going by the projections, you're not really liking what you see. If you're going by the opportunity of Porzingis being out, what that means, and then also possibly Jared Allen, there's some upside there. But right now, this rebound prop is not pulling a lot of favor in terms of the over. Centers versus not necessarily centers, but okay, look, Wendell Carter only brought down 7 rebounds. That was without Jared Allen. The game before that, Wendell Carter got you 9. So Wendell Carter had some games in there where he did pull down what you need from Horford today. He got you 8+. The rebounding numbers for Banchero were pretty damn good. All right. 8, 16. The 16 is a bit of an outlier, but 8 and 8, that gets it done today. So without Allen in the lineup, it does make a difference. Even Isaac and Banchero both, had success against this Cleveland front court without Allen in there. So you're not going to get the data that supports it. Everything looks ugly. So you're going to have to make a choice based off other things outside of odds and projections. If you want to take the over on that one, it's not going to be pretty. So under on his PRA, I threw that up on the board because that's one of the props I was seeing. And it made sense, but I expected this line to move a little bit, and it hasn't for a couple of days. So now I'm a little concerned. So if you don't like the under on his, or if you don't like the over on his rebounds, you think he goes under on rebounds. So he gets you 7 rebounds, let's say. His assists have been pretty strong. Could possibly go out there and get you 4, but I think 3 is more likely. And that would be 10 PRA, and then he would need to give you 11 points in order for him to go over his PRA. And it is possible for him to do that in 3 matchups versus the Cavs. Now, this is going back to last season. Actually, no. In 3 matchups versus the Cavs this season, not able to get it done. And then the screen before was without Porzingis. So I think where Porzingis not being active really helps out Horford is in the points department. So last 10 games without Porzingis, averaging 12 points, down to 9. So I think if you're taking an over on something, you could possibly look to maybe his points, maybe points and rebounds, maybe points and assists, whichever line is the lowest. Maybe points and assists is a better line. Without Porzingis in the lineup, if Horford goes out there and he can give you 11 points, we already looked at his assists, and we think that 3 is likely. All he needs is 10 points and 3 assists. So maybe that one looks better if you are just wanting to take an over on something. I think his points and assists do offer a bit more upside. If Horford went out there and got you 11 points and 3 assists, that's 14. He would then definitely need 7 rebounds to go over PRA. I think points and assists might be in play. All right. Peyton Pritchard's points got bumped up from 6.5 to 7. It was going to get bumped up at some point. It was sitting at 6.5 for a long time. In fact, no book has it at 6.5 anymore. So it is completely off the books. I don't know about pick'em sites, but off the books at 6.5. At 6.5, his over looked real good in that Miami series. He basically just traded 1 game over for 1 game under. So in the 5 games they played, he went over 3, he went under 2. In his last 10 games played without Porzingis, these games are all this season. We're seeing a huge increase in minutes. So without Porzingis on the floor, in those 10 games, 29 minutes played. Now, all these games aren't the same. Some of these games were meaningless games towards the end of the year. Some of these are playoff games. So factor all that in. But like I said, 29 minutes, he's averaging basically 15 points in those games. And then just last 10 games with Porzingis in there, 9 points and 24 minutes. So even the 9 points gets you the over today. But without Porzingis in there, he's averaging double digits. So that's something to consider. If you do want to take a shot on the over 7.5, you can. I personally just don't like playing bumps. I mean, there are so many other plays out there you can play. Why force a line that's been moved? But at 6.5, it looked good. If you can find it at 6.5, I think that's the play. Hauser at 6.5 is also in play. This is his last 10 games, period. No filters on this one. He's averaging 10.5. Without Porzingis, he's averaging 16 points. Those are really strong numbers here. He's in the game for one reason and one reason only, and it's to lock down the other team's best option. No, it's the score. It's the shoot. So when he's in the game, obviously 2017 field goal attempts is not what you are going to get from him game in, game out. But the guy can go out there and give you 10 field goal attempts in 20 minutes, 17, 18 minutes. I think you're in a good spot for him to get the over 6.5 points. So possibly, if you don't like the over on Peyton Pritchard's numbers, maybe you take the over, or you look to take the over on Hauser at 6.5, unless this one has already been bumped up. Donovan Mitchell's points have been bumped up. They will probably get bumped up again because you're seeing FanDuel already posting this at 28.5 points. It's holding steady on 4 other books at 27.5. So within the day, I think you'll see this get bumped up to 28. I'd be interested in what his field goal attempts are for this game, if that's a prop, if that's a line that you can play, because the guy took 36 shots In 2 games, he took 63 shot attempts. What? I did not know that. I'm not surprised by it. Those are huge numbers. That's a really good percentage. 22 of 36. Damn. That's a strong ass day. Okay. Numbers against the Celtics have been good. Okay. In his 6 games played against the Celtics going back to 2022, he's 5 of 6. If you just want to focus on this season, he's 2 for 2, 29 and 31. He went over in both of those games. He is projected for 30 points. Now, at 28, the odds are now in favor of the under, but at 27.5, you got DraftKings that likes the over, Caesars likes the under, BetMGM also likes the under, and PointsBet likes the over. So you're split. You have 2 books that like it, 2 books that like it for the over, 2 books that like it for the under. I do expect Darius Garland to have a better series this go than he did in the first round. Magic's tough, man. And him just struggling in the last game, that really resulted in Mitchell scoring 31 points. You know, if Garland chips in with 15 to 18 points, hits his fucking promo, but also contributes to the team, I don't think we see such high totals for Mitchell. So I do expect Garland to bounce back. And if that's going to happen, then I don't know. Maybe you don't see 31 points from Mitchell, but at 28, 29, that's in his range. It's possible for both of them to have good games. I mean, she's gonna shoot no matter what. But at 26.5, if you can get at 26.5, that's a pretty damn good line. 27 is also playable. 27.5. Yeah. Is this the first season that Donovan Mitchell's been out of the first round? Or in Utah, they made it to the second round, right? But they just kept losing in the second round. I can't remember the stat on him if he had never been out of the first round. All right, so there's Mitchell. We talked about Peyton Pritchard. We talked about Horford rebounds and PRA. We talked about Sam Hauser. Let's talk about Chet Holmgren. Over 1.5 3-pointers made today. This game should be fun. In the well, tell you what, let's look at his last 5. All right, so in that New Orleans series, he did go over in 2 of those games. He hit it. He's good for a 3. He's good for 1 3 a game. I mean, that's what we're seeing here. But in terms of going over this line, he's done it in 2 games. Head to head this season versus the Mavericks, he has 2 games where he went over and 2 games where he got you 0 threes made. He is projected for 1.38, which is below the line, which is closer to 1. When you take a look at the odds, man, PointsBet is just even on everything. They're not giving you any support. BetMGM likes the under. Caesars likes the under. DraftKings and FanDuel really like the under on this one. So we got 2 books that are, I mean, 120 and up. Caesars likes it the most out of all these books, but that's still an under. Projected to go over points 130, 14.5. FanDuel's the only book that has it at 14. All these other books have it at 15. Last 10 home games, he's averaging 17. Last 10 away games, he's averaging 13. Last 10 games on the road, Chet is averaging 1.3 3-pointers made. And then last 10 games at home, he's averaging 1.2. So there's not a big difference between him being at home and him being on the road. He's averaging basically the same. I don't know if you can say that Dallas has the size to match up with him. I think PJ Washington's a little undersized, but Gafford, you know, is a 5. You have Lively, but you do have the personnel to match up with him in terms of just guys they can throw at him. Gafford, Washington, Lively, maybe even Derrick Jones. So I think the personnel is different. I still feel like he could just shoot over most people though. But it should be a different defense this series than what he saw against New Orleans, especially without Zion in there. That defense just kind of lost its intensity. All right, so listen, I actually like the under on Horford's rebounds. I like the over on his PA. We saw it for 11.5. And it is at 10.5. No, that's rebounds and assists. It's at 12.5. 12.5. Oh, we saw it at 12.5. Yeah. Because if he got you 10 points and 3 assists, that's the over. If he got you 11 points and 3 assists, that's the over. I think his points and assists are in play. His rebounds do scare me a little bit because I'm just not seeing enough without Porzingis in the lineup. And this matchup, especially if Allen plays today, is just a bit tougher. Chet on threes, I think you can still take a chance at that, but I didn't see a whole lot that like the over. Mitchell's points, I just think people are sleeping on Mitchell and the Cavs. I think that's in play. Hauser's points over Pritchard's points at 7.5. However, both of these dudes really, really benefit with Porzingis off the floor more than Horford does. So their points are definitely in play. And then Horford's PRA. I think what keeps him from going over the PRA are the rebounds. Because even if he got you 11 points, 3 assists, that's 14. He definitely needs 7 boards to go over. So that's what we just broke down. And we'll screenshot those. All right. We'll clear it out. What's up, Steven? Good morning, man. Scotty 2 times. Giddy's 3s. All right, we'll take a look at Giddy. Let's see. We'll take a look at what do I think about Lively? I hear he's a really nice guy. He does a lot of philanthropy work in the off season, and I hear he collects comic books. No. What do you want to look at for Derek Lively? I don't really have any thoughts on him, but if you want to look at one of his player props, let me know. Looks like points and rebounds got bumped, but so if you want to take the over on anything, I think his points and rebound combo is in play because it's yet to be touched. He needs 9, he needs 7, that's 16. He needs 15, that's a discount of 1. We could take a look at that. This little gnat. Giddy over 3s. I guess you want to take a look at his demon over 3s. See, if Horford gets the minutes, he cashes. He should definitely get the minutes, unless he gets into foul trouble, which would suck for the Celtics because they don't really have a whole lot of depth behind him. I think Max Strus might put in some work with so much attention on Mitchell. Also, I'd like to go back and look at Strus numbers versus the Celtics last season in the playoffs, because I want to say he lit their ass up. I know it's a different team, same role though, similar role. I mean, in Miami, Strus was what, 4? Butler, Bam. You had a stint where like Caleb Martin was like a true option, and Max Strus was, doing what he does in Cleveland this season. And in Cleveland, you have Mitchell. When Garland's on, then you got Mobley, Allen. I mean, so it's a similar role. I want to look at his numbers against the Celtics. I think he had a good series, if I'm not mistaken. His PRA remains really low. There was a point where we were seeing his PRA at 18.5. Now it's at 16.5. His rebounds and assists are also low at 7.5. But let's look at his points. Jason Tatum over 9 rebounds. It was 9.5. They brought it down. Yeah, it was getting a lot of attention for the under. So at 9, he needs 10. So the numbers don't change. Like, he still needs 10, but at the lower line, he does offer a safer play because he can literally land at 9 and get you a push. Damian says OKC's too young. Mr. DraftKings, what's up? Good morning. Says Al's PA is at 10.5 on 10.5 on DraftKings for Al Horford's points and assists. It's at 12.5 on PrizePicks. So Max Strus's points just got bumped down to 9. That's good for us because I think we were kind of looking at the over. So cool. I don't give a shit. Oh, on FanDuel. Okay, but either or, it's two less. Damian says missing 2 props and Taco. Who are you talking about, Damian? Let me scroll up. Who did I miss? Oh, Xavier Tillman. That's right. Xavier Tillman in Boston. That's right. I was thinking of Namius Queta. Also, I think he's in Boston. Is Jared Allen out? Manuel, I don't know. The last time I checked the injury report, he was questionable. He was questionable the last 3 games and then got ruled out about an hour before. So he's still questionable. I don't know. What's going on, Insanity? Gunnar Henderson over 0.5 home runs. Okay. Our first MLB player prop in there. We'll throw it on the board. So yesterday my write-up in the Discord was Riley Green over hitter fantasy score. First at bat, he hits a home run. Didn't see it coming. I thought he'd, get a single and a RBI and just kind of chip away at it. Just boom, home run. Today I wrote up Trevor Williams over 5.5 hits versus the Baltimore Orioles. And one of the reasons is the WRC plus that the Orioles bring in. I think they'll be able to throw a lot of lefties at Williams today and make it a little hard for him. And Gunnar Henderson is a part of the mix. So we're looking at his home run. If he hits a home run, that would help me out a lot. Since I wrote up the over on hits allowed for Trevor Williams today. All right. let's look at what we have. We have Lively, Giddey, Tatum, Strus, and Henderson. Let's take these over to props.cash. We're going to look up the Henderson play first because it is our only MLB play on the board. So we would just jump right into home run. With home runs, it is a very condensed research where you are looking at a stat that is very volatile. It's risky because people aren't hitting home runs every day. Even the best players, when they hit back-to-back home runs or in a game, in the same game, or just back-to-back games with a home run, you know, the best players in the world may go another 10, 12 games before they hit another home run. So it's not a thing where you see happen every game. I swear to God, like if a guy hit a home run every game, he think about 162 home runs, really? That's some MLB The Show shit. My guy on MLB The Show can hit 200 home runs in a season, but we're talking about real life here. Gunnar Henderson with plus 270 odds to go over, so the odds are really low, like in favor of the over. I mean, you're never going to see minus 270 on a home run. Really, you're not. If it were, you wouldn't see it on book. I don't know where you would find that shit. Plus 270, plus 255 on DraftKings, and plus 259 on Pinnacle. Pinnacle is offering you, well, all these are really good. So projected for 0.4 home run. What does 0.4 home run mean? It means nothing. It's hard to project a home run. It's these fractional home run projections. You just got to look at other things. So no history versus Trevor Williams. However, when we look at the Orioles lineup as a whole versus righties this season, ISO is strong. A lot of these batting averages are also very strong. The strikeouts are there. I will let you know that Trevor Williams does not have a huge hit and miss ratio percentage. The swing and miss shit for him is not there. So it makes me feel like if they swing at shit, they're hitting it. They just got to hit it safely or out of the park. So when we take a look at home runs this season, Henderson has a total of 10. He has 7 home runs versus righties with a 309 ISO. Brings in a 259 batting average. I mean, he's hitting for power versus righties. He's hitting for average and just everything else versus lefties. This is an all-around good start to the season. When we take a look at Trevor Williams versus lefties, we talked about the lefty-righty matchup. The Orioles can possibly throw 1, 2, 3, 4 true lefties, and then you have 2 guys in there that can switch hits. So that's a total of 6 possible left-handed bats today for Trevor Williams, who struggles in terms of giving up average, giving up 16 hits. No power given up yet. So he's been able to suppress the power against lefties this season and righties. However, when you look at Trevor Williams today and what he is projected for, he's projected for 6 hits. He's projected for 3 earned runs and just 3.5 strikeouts. His swing and miss is just 7.8, which means the swinging strikes. So I feel like if the Orioles bats swing, they make contacts. His strikeouts are below 1 per inning. So yeah, I hope we get the over on that home run for Henderson, because it would definitely help my shit out, taking the over on his hits allowed. Damn, it's already 9:50 a.m. and I haven't once said hit that like button on your way in. If you've been here for a while, hit it. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're just joining the stream, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. there. I made up for lost time. All right, let's talk about Derek Lively, I believe, was our first player prop. I just pulled up his points because I didn't know what the direction was for him. So let's just start with his points, and then we can look at his points and rebounds, because you are getting a discount on PrizePicks. He only needs 15. So points and rebounds at -118 for the over on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars slightly like the under. BetMGM is all over this under, and then PointsBet once again coming in at even line at 115 to each side. Back-to-back games with 19 points and rebounds. In that series against the Clippers, he had himself a good time. 4 out of 5 games, he did go over this. Now, head-to-head with the Thunder, only present 2 games. He goes way over and way under. So not the best sample size for his PR versus this team. Just over his last 10 games on the road, he's averaging 14.5 PR. At home, he's averaging 12. So he's actually giving you a bit more on the road than he is at home over his last 10 games. If you want to take a look at his points, sitting at 8.5, I believe they're at 8.5 on PrizePicks. Maybe they're at 8. So either way, he needs 9 points, but at 8, he can actually give you a push. Over his last 5 games at home, this is what he's done. Over his last 5 games on the road, 2 games over, 3 games under. Unfilter that. Let's look at his matchup with OKC. 20 points in that one big game, and then 4 points. In the New Orleans series, we saw Jonas really put up numbers in the paint, and we saw his minutes actually, maintain some consistency. But 3 out of those 4 games, he got you 13 or more. Now, power forwards, because you had other guys in the mix. Larry Nance got over on in one game. What about small forwards? 16 for Najee Marshall, 11 for Herb Jones, 19 for Brandon Ingram. Yeah, so I know that Lively and Jonas are not identical twins and they don't have the same game, but between the centers and power forwards, I think there's some production to be had. And you don't need 13, 14 points from Lively today. You need 9 from Lively. Rebounds for Jonas. He goes over in 2 of those games. Got you 7 here. Larry Nance goes over in 3. So whether it's Lively or Jonas, the combination of the two, their points and rebounds combined were strong. And that does give you some upside for Lively. Now, he's not the only guy that can play 5. You have Gaffer there. And you have Washington eating into some of that too. So I don't know what the rotation is today, but makes you feel a little better if you're looking to take some overs on Lively today, to know that New Orleans has success against this team. All right. Max Strus and Giddey. So let's take a look at Giddey's threes. Now, we are looking at his demon threes because that's the only prop that PrizePicks is showing on the board right now. He has gone over this in every single game except one versus Dallas. Now, this is dating back to 2022. So if you just want to focus on this season's games, he's 3 for 4. He's getting you 8 threes. That's basically 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over his last 10 games, or we can just look at his last 5 games, back-to-back games with 4 threes made. I don't know if that's what you get every game from him. That sounds like he was shooting out of his mind a little bit, because the previous 8 games say a completely different story, tell you a completely different story. On the year, he's only averaging 1.13 made per game. So this is definitely over his head. This is not what he does every single game. 180 to the under on FanDuel. DraftKings 185 to the under, 189, 190. You're getting incredibly terrible odds to the under for Giddey on his threes. So that is why it is a demon prop. It is a risky prop, but it is a prop that's pulling a projection of 1.9. Shooting guard versus OKC. Or excuse me, shooting guards versus Dallas. You have Powell that got you 2, that gets you the over. You had Harden getting you 4. Just Harden and Norman Powell here getting you the overs. Point guards versus Dallas. You had Terrence Mann give you 2. Terrence Mann give you 3. Yeah, so it's not like dudes aren't hitting threes. It's just that Josh Giddey isn't the most efficient 3-point shooter. I love the fact that we did see him get you 26 plus. I mean, 30 basically in these 2 games. There are some games where he's just not on the floor, and I don't know. You just don't know what those minutes are going to look like. But when he's on the floor, he usually puts up strong stats. So if you want to roll the dice on his threes at 1.5, despite the terrible odds, that's why it's a demon. That's why it's a demon. Anything is possible with demons. Last 2 plays, we're gonna head to the Cleveland-Boston game. We'll take a look at Strus. Now, Strus's threes right now, I want to look at this one real quick, because if you're looking to take the over on his points at 9, then his threes are probably going to play a part of that. And if he goes out there and gets you 2 threes, well, he's 2/3 of the way. Projected for 11 points. In the Orlando series, we did see Strus's numbers improve as the series came to a close. It was, nice to see his shot start to fall. Now, his matchup with Boston, this is just last, games, not specific to any format. So just 13 games, he's averaging 10. When we filter out playoffs, so this is what he did last season against the Celtics in the playoffs. He had 4 games in that 7-game series where he got you 10. He had another game where he pushed and got 9. So out of those 6 games, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, out of those 7 games, 2 were legitimate unders. He plays the Celtics well. He is consistent with knocking down his threes. Just because he did it last season, I know it doesn't mean he does it this season, but when you compare role and when you compare opportunity, it's pretty damn identical. 29 points in those games, 29 minutes in those games compared to the Orlando series. 33. So his minutes are actually up in Cleveland. Averaging 8 field goal attempts in that opening round against Boston, averaging 8. So look, there are a lot of similarities, right? The role is pretty close. He's shooting threes. He's knocking down threes. The minutes are up in Cleveland. The shot volume is there. If you want to take a shot on his points at 9, PrizePicks lowered it for you. They're almost like inviting you, come in, come play the over. Or you can go find his 3-point prop at 1.5 and take the over on that one. But he plays Boston well. There's that little narrative that he has a grudge against Boston because they cut him from the team. Whatever. If you believe in that, then that's even more reason to look for the over Max Strus. Let's take a look at Jason Potato over his rebounds. All right. So Jason Tatum against Cleveland seems to be a real thing. Jason Tatum without Porzingis against Cleveland, 2 out of 3. Although these are from last season, so not really relevant. So 5 straight games of going over. This season, he had 3 games where he got you 10 plus. His rebounds are at 9. Projected for 9. So just in his last 10 games, he's averaging 8.4. Last 10 games without Porzingis, he's averaging 6.8. So rebounds take a huge hit. It could be one of those things because Porzingis is not just a big who's on the floor. You know, he's not Wendell Carter Jr. You know, so he's a big part of their scoring. So when he's out, maybe more of that scoring goes to Jason Tatum. If Jason Tatum is looking for a shot and he's aggressive, is he not looking for a rebound? I don't know. But what I'm seeing here is in games without Porzingis, last 10 games at least, 28 points and 6.8 rebounds. And just in his last 10 games with Porzingis, 9 rebounds and 23 points. Points go up by 5. Rebounds go down by 3. So I think that's what you're seeing. I think you're seeing Jason Tatum having to take on more of the scoring role. So if you're looking to take an over on rebounds for Jason Tatum, even with the bump down from 9.5 to 9, you're not going to see a pretty picture. Odds are in favor of the under on every single book. Now at 8.5, FanDuel has it at 8.5. If you want to take the over there, they're giving you decent odds, but on PrizePicks, they're at 9. So you're going to see this shift. Not like that, but I don't think you're going to see minus 120 at 9 rebounds. If I had to take an over on something without Porzingis, first half points, first half PRA, first half points, first half PRA for Jason Tatum without Porzingis. First half PRA this season against Cleveland, 28 and 32, 18. First half points against Cleveland this season, 17, 11, and 22. I think his first half props are in play. It's difficult for Jason Tatum to put complete games on the books. 17, 11, and 22. 8, 16, and 4. 25, 27, and 20 points. 26 points. He in those 3 games, his total for the game is in that 26 to 27 range, like maybe 28. But look at the lopsided. Look how lopsided the halves are. 50 points combined in 3 games in the first half compared to 28. Almost double. So I think if you're looking to take overs, at least based off what we're seeing, you can take a shot at Jason Tatum's first half points, first half PRA. I don't know about his rebounds, to be honest. All right. Derek Lively over points and rebounds is in play. You could also look to his points. Josh Giddey is a demon, so he does need 2. He has the upside of 4, and then he also has the floor of 0. Jason Tatum rebounds, we would think that those go up without Porzingis, but the numbers just showed us that that's not the case. Tatum's first half points are at 14. Tatum's first half PRA, both of these are in play. Both of those are in play. He's not going over first half PRA without points. He's not doing it on rebounds and assists alone. So if he's going over first half PRA, it's going to be 15, 16 points. I think that's in play. Strus over his points. I really like that one. Whoever brought that one up in the chat, I think that's a good one, especially with the line drop. Strus's numbers against Boston have been really good over the last season or 2. And then Gunnar Henderson going yard, helping me out, putting a hit on the board against Trevor Williams. But this one looks good. The odds are in favor. His numbers against righties, great numbers. And then I think Trevor Williams is due to give up some power. He has yet to give up a home run this season, but I think it happens today against the Orioles. So if you ran this slip as is, that demon prop does increase your number, your payout from a 10x to a 23x. Oh, we have 2 demon props in there. So 2 demon props, 23x. If you just threw another play in there, doesn't matter which one, those 2 demon props in there will boost your payout from a 25x to a 47x. So that's another example of you being able just to use demon props for payout boost. And yeah, if they hit, even better. You don't have to hit the demon prop in order to get the payout boost. So just remember that. You can go 5 of 6 in a 6-pick flex, and the only one you miss is the demon prop, and then you still get the payout boost. Usually it goes from a 2x to like a 4.5, maybe 5x. So if you put 10 on a 6-pick, you get 5 out of 6. You would normally get back 20, but on a 4.5, you get 45. On a 5, you get 50. So it's not a bad payout for missing one prop. All right. What's up to LA? What's up, man? Let's see. Mobley over 12.5 rebounds and assists. Let's look at that real quick. Yeah. I would assume that Allen doesn't play today, even though he's listed as questionable. I mean, we got 3 straight games of him missing, and it's the same story. Basically, he's questionable all game, and then at the very end of the day, he gets ruled out. To be ruled out 3 games straight with bruised ribs or whatever that is, that's a pretty serious thing. there was no guarantee that they were going to win that series. So it's not even like, oh, they were saving them for Boston. They could have very well lost to the Magic. You know, so I don't think they're saving him at all. I think he's hurt. But you don't rule out a player, you know, indefinitely. You keep teams guessing. Like, honestly, I think that's a strategy they're trying to employ. It's fucking up our slips though. So Mobley, 12.5 rebounds and assists. We'll take a look at that one. Mobley had an awful first half. Finished with 10 rebounds and assists. Finished with 4 points. That first half against the Magic, 0 points, 6 PRA. Second half, 8 PRA. He had he just had a really bad game. Yeah, so what we do know is that there is no Porzingis. We don't know that Jared Allen's going to be ruled out. We believe he's going to get ruled out, but we don't know. We do know Porzingis is out. So focusing on the lack of bigs they have in the front court. Yeah, Xavier Tillman is there, but in that matchup, Mobley would have the advantage, in my opinion. So we look at this matchup a little differently. Has he played Boston without Porzingis? You do have to go back to last season. I mean, if you want to put some stock into this, we go without Porzingis and then we go without Jared Allen in those games. Are there games against Boston? No. Last 10 games played without Jared Allen. Mobley's putting up 28 PRA. He's putting up 15 rebounds and assists. So what we saw against Orlando, wait, was I looking at the right game? Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. I was not looking at the right game. What was I looking at? I was looking at this game. So that wasn't okay. So this was the last game. I just confused myself. Okay. I guess I had a filter on because he had a fantastic game that last game. Okay, so I guess I just had my eyes on the wrong game there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So no Porzingis, possibly no Allen. Yeah, Mobley just had a really bad game, game 6, but bounced back. He's in play. I think Porzingis not being there impacts him more than Jared Allen not being there, because I think there is room for him to get the over on his lines even if Allen is in. Allen can't be 100% even if he does play. I mean, I think he can eat a little bit today without Porzingis in there. All that shit we're talking, we haven't even looked at the odds yet. So minus 120 on FanDuel, 112 on DraftKings, a little bit closer to the over on that one. You have Caesars also giving you juice to the over. Basically, all these books, 1, 2, 3, 4, are giving you odds in favor of the under. He is projected for 11.27 rebounds and assists. So that's right under the line where you need. Again, I think I know the odds and projections. I know what they say, but if he is not getting you 13 rebounds and assists, you have to ask yourself why. Who is preventing him from doing that? Porzingis is not there. Is it Jason Tatum? Jason Tatum is not, projected to bring down 10 plus rebounds today. Is it Al Horford? He's not also projected to have a good rebounding game. Even if Allen is in, is that enough to prevent Mobley from getting the over on his line? And Allen is not 100%. So I like to dig into these projections sometimes, because if I can't see a clear path, then I go with my own research. And so if you're telling me that he can't get you 13 rebounds and assists, then I'm going to ask you why. What's stopping him? Because you can't just say because he's not, because he won't. Like, why though? Why, motherfucker? Why? So I think he's in play. You're just not going to get the odds, and you're not going to get support from the book. So if that's a deterrent, then you're staying away from this line. But if you're trying to read into this a little bit and dig into this and try to figure this out, then you probably like what you see here without Porzingis in the lineup. So yeah, you can look at Mobley rebounds and assists. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for today's stream. An hour and 24 minutes in. Covered a few props. I'll be sharing all these player props over in the Discord. So if you want to use them as a reference, go ahead. That's what I throw them in there for. Every player prop that you see a screenshot of, those have been researched. So you don't even have to dig into those. We just did all the research for you. But if you want to double down on the research, be my guest. Appreciate y'all being here. If you lasted this long, I appreciate it even more. Hit the like button on your way out. Consider subbing up to the channel. Also, make sure your notification icon is clicked so you don't miss out on future content from me and my channel. As I always say, I wish you all the best of luck. Make all the player props. Respect the damn coin. I will be back tomorrow, 8:50 a.m. with another player prop talk live stream. Maximal profit to talk about. Minimal turds to talk about. Hopefully we have some big wins to go over in tomorrow's stream. Once again, best of luck to you all. I'll let the beat roll a little bit. And until tomorrow's player prop talk live stream, Chavez is out.